What's up Saab fans around the world, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to start the work on the gearbox. Change the gearbox, new clutch, new slave cylinder, bushings in the subframe. Well, this episode is going to contain a lot, so probably this will be split into two parts or maybe three, I don't know. But let's get this going and start the job. So we have got the reinforced gearbox with the quife differential. We got a piece of instruction which I will link to in the description box below. We have a slave cylinder, Saab original. This is a must. No cheap copies will do. We have the Sax pressure plate, 495 Aero, 240 millimeter, and we have the center clutch plate, 6-pack. We got some bushings for the torque rod. We got the subframe bushings. We got some new seals for the gearbox, for the drive shafts. We got two types of brake fluid. This will withstand a little bit more heat. It's more like track focused, and this is more like the average daily driver. And we got some oil for the gearbox, which is also Saab original, which will do just fine, even with a quife differential. And I have jacked up the car, so I'm not gonna go into detail and show you how I loosen every bolt, but you will get the bigger picture. So we will start from the top and disassemble the battery tray, the engine cover, the fuse box will be moved to the side. We will loosen the shifter linkage and loose a couple of the top bolts that holds the transmission. Then we will go under the car and I will describe what I do as we go. So let's start. Gearbox locked in 4th gear and also the linkage, you need to undo this 30mm nut down here. See if I can get it. Focus down there. Then you will go inside the car. Remove the pin and throw in 3rd gear, and the shifter linkage will be loose. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really hard to film, but the shaft or the axle is loose. I have removed 3 of the top bolts that holds the gearbox in place. 1, 2 and 3. So moving on, almost everything here is disconnected. So now I'm going to start to drop the exhaust. So I have made some tape markings, orange for one O2 sensor and blue for the other one, so it's easy to make them fit together again. And it's just to undo these 3 bolts on the downpipe. This could be a hassle, so I recommend to use some anti-seize or some rust remover or rust solvent to use on this prior one day maybe, so they get a little bit loose. Recommended to take out the whole exhaust, but what you will avoid is this right here. This is usually the case in all of the cars. These flanges and the nuts always super rusty, so you can't barely remove them. Therefore I'm picking it out in one piece. And this exhaust is not going to be used any longer. Maybe just as an inspection exhaust. So I will try to fix it up a little bit and then have it as a spare. Because the new exhaust will have V-band clamps, so it will be easier to disassemble the part that you need to eventually fix, and it's going to be a whole lot bigger as well. So now we have come so far, so it's time to install the lifting beam for the engine. And this is a homemade, no shit. It's 4x4 inch wood with some leftovers. So I have secured the engine with the lifting beam and secured it with a strap. Have removed some parts and started to prepare for lowering the subframe. So right here, and then underneath I have taken away some things. This transmission mount and the shifter linkage came with it. Usually I disassemble the whole shifter linkage in one piece and then get this transmission mount separate. But now I was following the instructions, and the instructions tells to get everything in one piece. It wasn't that hard, just a little bit of wiggling and it came out. And I have removed the plastic cover underneath. So now it's just, and I have taken out these long bolts for the steering rack, which is a little bit hard to get to the nut that is above everything and pretty hidden. But with the correct tools I used this one and just bent it a bit so it got the grip of it, then just remove them. So now it's just to remove all the AC lines and everything. And then I found out this. No condenser for the AC, so I don't have any AC. Not that it matters so much, it just makes it easier to change the intercooler later. And yeah, it's a little bit more race car. So as of right now, I can move the fans and everything, the radiator, a little bit back so I get more space for a bigger turbo in the future, which is nice. And I have the sunroof and also the windows, so cooling will not be a big issue, I think. So now it's just to prepare and remove my nice little working space down here, which is really cozy instead of the cold garage floor. So now it's time to remove 6 of the subframe bolts and then slowly start to lower it. And the goal today for this video is to lower the subframe, start grinding and apply at least 1 coat of paint on it so it looks nice, and then we're gonna drill out the bushings and install the new ones. And I don't have really seen a good video of subframe bushings on YouTube yet. So I'm going to show you the correct and the easy way to install new bushings. And new bushings in the subframe on a 9.5 makes it like a brand new car. It's so rattly and wiggly after this high mileage, so the bushings will do a lot for the handling and the feel of the car. So let's start to remove the bolts and lower the subframe.
Perfect. Perfect.
Took some time, but now it's finally out. So let's shake out these tired bushings. Here we have it, and this is so satisfying. Just seeing this crap with a little bit of rust and all of this dirt on it. And look at these bushings. Usually you have to like drill them out. I think these are like ready to pop. So this is what's holding your car in the right position. Look at this. I could just pick it out. So usually drill this out and then clean this hole out. Then we're gonna start the process with a little bit of grinding and painting this to make it a little bit more resistant to corrosion and rust in the future. So if you have the money, you want to change these bushings right here, and you also want to change these bushings right here, because that also makes a huge improvement to the stability and the rideability of the car. But as for right now, we are going to change these ones for polyurethane and these ones, because this ones is really wiggly too. And this is, I think it's called the torque rod. And when you change this to power flex bushings, it makes the shifting so much tighter. So that's a pretty cheap one and a good one to do. So now the paint has cured. It's a really nice satin black, which I like. So on the top of the subframe I'm gonna leave it like it is. I'm gonna continue and paint some of the details yellow because I want the color scheme to be like black and yellow on the car in total also. So this bar right here is going to be yellow. And these are going to be yellow as well, because I think it makes it look really nice. And if you have mounted these bushings before, most PowerFlex bushings come in two pieces, so you just press them together, which is a really easy way. These ones, one side is a little bit thicker and one side is a little bit thinner. So the usual case is that you are supposed to press this through the hole, but I have done this all the times I have done this, and it's a couple right now. So I have just removed this in the middle, and then I have taken a really sharp knife and just split the bushing into two, which makes the assembly super easy. So you just go with the small part from one side and the bigger from the other. Then you push this through and you're done. No hassle whatsoever, super easy. You basically don't need any lube, and when you're done then you will have a distance underneath, and then the bolt will press it up to the chassis of the car. So it won't go anywhere. You should not worry about it flubbering around. So it sits super tight, like it would have if you would have pressed it through. So in my opinion, this is the easiest way to do this, and you will do all 6 in like a couple of minutes or seconds, while if you would have gone the other way you would have struggled for hours maybe, if you don't come up with a smart tool to make it press through. But my opinion, this is the easiest way. That's it for this episode, guys. I hope you stay tuned for episode 2 when we are going to remove the gearbox, install the new clutch and install the new gearbox, flush the gearbox and all of that good stuff. So be sure to look out for that one. Subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And I will see you very soon again. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.